Hey everyone, Chris Haddon, Jason Balin, co-founders of Hard Money Bankers. Check us out at hardmoneybankers.com and Facebook/hardmoneybankers. Today we are talking about the potential pitfalls in partnerships.
Partnerships are a great way to expand your business, but you got to make sure you're getting hooked up with the right partner from the beginning or it'll be an absolute disaster. Check it out right now.
Today we're talking about the potential pitfalls in partnerships in any line of business. We could be talking about real estate, entrepreneurship, tech stuff. A lot of the same things apply to many different industries. So we're going to break down some of the things to be careful of if you're looking for a partnership, with which many people are.
Absolutely.
Because people have different skill sets, they bring different stuff to the table. And the ideal partnership, like we've talked about before, can be 1 + 1 = 3. So you're actually better because you have a partner, not just double.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and partnerships in general, a lot of the times when you're looking for a partner, you're looking for somebody that you feel is more valuable than you are. And they can bring to the table more than you can.
More and different stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of times when you say, okay, well, you almost feel like you can't do this without them. But keep in mind, you want them to feel the same way. They can't do it without you. So it makes it a successful thing. And this can be if you have 2 partners or 3 partners, well, no matter how big the operation is.
Here's the first thing to watch out for, is that the most available partners are the wrong ones. The ones you don't want. The ones that are there and at a meetup group or whatever it might be and eager to start a new venture are probably the wrong ones. Why are they that available? Why are they not successful already? What do they have going on that they're going to say yes to anything?
It's a good point, and it's usually because they're the easiest to find because they're saying, yeah, sure, I'd be happy to start a venture, start these. I mean, most people that are successful in general don't have time to get themselves into something else. And over time, they either see something in you or you get introduced to them through a friend or business colleague. And you say, you know what, there's an opportunity here. Maybe we can figure out a way to work together and not just, sure, I'm, raise my hand at a meetup group or a RIA group or, a startup grind group or whatever the case is and say, sure, I can provide this. I'd be happy to help.
Yeah, people successful in business and finance and everything else underwrite carefully. They don't say yes to every opportunity. They don't say yes to 90% of opportunities.
Sure.
Just like we have to be when controlling private capital, just like investors are full-time when, picking real estate or stocks or whatever they pick to acquire. There's discipline in that too. So if the first guy to raise his hand and say, sure, I'll make a company with you or whatever kind of venture, huge red flag.
Yeah, I mean, and usually, sometimes partnerships evolve without even realizing that you need to create a partnership or that you want a partnership. In real estate in general, partnerships are typically formed because someone wants to put up capital or they have opportunities or they have, they understand the transaction. And that's very similar in a lot of industries. A lot of the times it's, hey, I know
skill sets you need.
Exactly. I know exactly what I want to do, but I don't exactly know how to mold this together or code the project, in the tech space. And you find somebody say, hey, I'll be why don't we just be business partners in this thing? And, maybe they're a great business partner, maybe they're not, but you got to do the proper things related to, screening them, getting a resume of what they've done in the past. If they don't have much going for them right now and everything they've done, oh yeah, I used to do all this in the past, chances are, they don't have much going on.
That's a great point. And that brings us to our second bullet point for this discussion, which is bet on the jockey, not on the horse. Bet on the operator, because that is different than the business model. We know real estate and how that works. We know the potential of new technology and startup. We're not talking about the horse. We're not talking about the model for the purpose of this discussion. We're talking about the jockey, the operator.
Real estate's a great business model, and there's plenty of people out there that will F it up because they just can't execute.
Oh yeah, yeah. For sure. So like Jason was saying, I mean, in essence, when you're talking about a partnership, you have to underwrite a person. You have to underwrite their experience and history, their potential. Maybe, one thing that has jumped out at me is after reading that book about Warren Buffett is that any of his investments were also tied to an operator.
That's right.
Not only the company, but a person. that made him really in love and really obsess about that venture. It's not just because somebody was available. There's always somebody available.
Yeah,
right?
And a lot of partnerships are created because of this person's available, they're going to put in the sweat equity, they're going to put in the time, they're going to put in this individual skill set. Well, first off, they may just be able to be a role player or an employee or a contractor, and they don't necessarily have to be a business partner. But also, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. There's partners in the past that we probably wish we did either dispersonality assessments on, because as you grow and you're more involved with them, you realize it's like, wow, you're high on this end, meaning, you're good at this, but you're not good at these things, or you care more about, I don't know, the quality of this than the financial gain over here.
Underwriting people and how they're going to perform in the future. It's a difficult thing, and it comes with experience and everything else. There's certain tools you can use along the way, like asking certain people who have been there, using personality tests like DISC. But any way you slice it, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, and
underwriting people's hard.
And I would say probably the best way to kind of go about that is first figure out what their goals are to make sure they're lined up with your goals. See what, and not necessarily what they say, but over time how they react to things, and they're actually doing what they're saying they want to do. And you don't have to start a partnership at the beginning. You could create something and say, listen, this is going to be your role, this is going to be my role. Let's see if this works, and maybe we can turn it into a partnership in the future. So there's no need to jump into something just to do it.
Oftentimes, very, very true.
And another really important, part of, partnerships to begin with is if you're the mastermind of the partnership and you're the one that wants to create it and you're the one that it's, behind it, you're responsible for it. You can't point blame at other people, even if it's somebody else's fault. You're directly responsible for this. And there's partnerships we've been involved in real estate that maybe one property or another didn't go the best way. And, we can be upset about it. We can be pissed off about it, and we can point fingers. But at the end of the day, we were the ones who ultimately have to take responsibility.
True. Yeah, and anything going on in business, I think it's just a great way to approach life or business or whatever else. At the end of the day, it's our fault.
Yep.
We're responsible.
Any way you look at it.
A lot of people like to talk about fault and blame and this and that, point fingers and stuff like that. And that doesn't really matter to us, because it's not about that. It's not about just saying whose fault it was or it wasn't and something it didn't work out. It's about the results. Like, I don't care about the past, because
past is over.
Yeah, that comes up with partner stuff, with employee stuff. It's not my fault. Who are we going to blame for this? Yeah. It's like, I don't give a shit. Let's just get to the goal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, forward. We got to go forward. And at the end of the day, like, if you happen to hook up with a partner that doesn't work out or wasn't what you thought or it's a learning experience, anything like that, we're still directly responsible for it.
Yep.
Very, very important part of that. And so are you. So I would be careful about taking a look at the people, being very wary of the people who are that available.
Yeah, exactly. And to sum it up, was probably one of the first sentences you said when we started this was 1 + 1 should equal 3, if not 4 or not 5.
Right.
Having the right partner is important. And I think if you look back at a lot of the big profitable businesses of where they started, they did start with partners. They had additional resources. They had several partners that are involved because there's a lot of skill sets. And there's a lot of things that have to occur, but it's got to be done the right way. You don't want 1 + 1 to equal 1. You want 1 + 1 to equal 3, 4, or 5. So remember that, as you're creating partnerships and, you're becoming successful inside your own career.
Good stuff. Thanks for checking us out, guys. See you next time.